Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Flight Lieutenant Robert Neuwenhoven. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Club Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Please be seated if you can do so. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Warrant Officer Class 2, Frederick Delamere Norbury. Frederick Norbury was born on the 11th of September 1905 in Charters Towers, the son of Frederick and Grace Norbury. He grew up amidst a large family of 4 brothers and 3 sisters and went on to work as a pay clerk for Douglas Shire Council. Frederick Norbury enlisted in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force on the 18th of November 1939 at Brisbane. After entering camp at Redbank, he was promoted to acting corporal at the end of the year. Early in 1940, Norbury moved to Ingleburn, where he joined reinforcements for the Australian Army Service Corps. The Australian Army Service Corps were the Army's grocers, who procured, stored and distributed consumable stores, such as food and petrol. They were also the Army's truckies, who carried troops, stores and ordnance where required. Having begun service, Norbury reverted to the rank of private before being found absent without leave on the 4th of April. A month later, he embarked from Sydney, bound for overseas service. During the voyage, he was again found absent without leave and fined a day's pay as punishment. Arriving in Scotland in mid-June, Private Norbury was transferred to the 71st Battalion. The following month, he entered camp at Tidworth and was promoted to acting sergeant. With previous experience working as a pay clerk, he was transferred to a pay section, part of the Australian Army Pay Corps. In September, Norbury was sent to hospital suffering from cranial neuralgia, a condition causing severe headaches. Returning to duty the following month, his rank of sergeant was confirmed. In early January 1941, Sergeant Norbury embarked from England. Arriving in the Middle East in mid-March, he joined the finance section of the AIF headquarters base area. For some time, Norbury's service was relatively uneventful. While he was reprimanded for drunkenness in later June 1942, this did not prevent his rise through the ranks. On the 1st of December 1942, he was promoted to Acting Warrant Officer Class 2. In April 1943, he left the Middle East, embarking at Suez and then travelling via Aden and Bombay to Melbourne. Now back on Australian soil, he became Paymaster-in-Chief. After a move to Brisbane, he continued in the same capacity. In early 1944, Norbury was detached to work at Home Hill Prisoner of War Control Centre, a purpose-built camp that accommodated some 250 Italian prisoners of war. In July, he transferred to Kenilworth Prisoner of War Control Centre. In September, he returned to district accounts in Brisbane. On the 27th of February 1945, Frederick Norbury was taken to hospital, suffering from coronary disease. On the 1st of March, he died in hospital from heart-related problems. His remains were cremated at the Mount Thompson crematorium. He was 39 years old. 2 of his brothers also died while serving during the Second World War. John Norbury enlisted in the 2nd AIF and served with the 2nd 10th Field Regiment before becoming a prisoner of war of the Japanese during the fall of Singapore. Having been interned in Changi, he joined A Force and was sent to work on an airfield in Burma. He died on the 9th of June 1942 before A Force moved to work on the Thailand-Burma Railway. John's twin brother, Ralph, enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force and was killed in an air accident at Point Cook on the 6th of December 1939. Frederick Norbury's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of his memorial plaque at Mount Thompson Crematorium in Queensland is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Warrant Officer Class 2 Frederick Delamere Norbury, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.